JFrame and JLabel. We've got a lovely frame sitting there next to us. Now the JFrame, what this is, it's something that we create that we usually put other objects into it. It frames things up. So we have 4 possible constructors that we can call, okay? And what we will do is we will use the simplest one to start with, okay? So like I said, once we've created a JFrame, we can pop other objects inside of it. So here's some code for creating a JFrame. The JFrame, as we said, it's created usually for other objects to be placed inside of it. Let's take a look at what we've got. We've imported our swing JFrame, and this time we're also importing the AWT color. Public class demo JFrame. I've got my main, and now I'm adding my JFrame to give it a title. All right, programming design implementation. Now we want it to perform as expected. So I'm saying frame set default close operation JFrame dot exit on close. So it's going to fully exit when we close it. We're setting the size of the frame. Now I'm setting the background color of the content pane within the JFrame, and I'm going to set it to pink. And now, last but not least, I make it actually visible. Let's jump into the terminal and compile it. Javac, and it was called demo JFrame, Java. Took a little bit to get to it. We've got it. And now Java demo JFrame. And there it is, beautifully in front of us. Okay, we've got our title, programming design and implementation. We've got our color. I'm going to first minimize it. And now I can bring it back up. I can maximize it. And then I'll bring it back into there. And now I'll click the X. And it has quit. So it's performed exactly how we thought it would. The JLabel, probably guessing it's a label of some sort, and you would be absolutely right. It's a component that we display information to the user. It's uneditable, so it's displaying information that we can't change or that the user can't change. It doesn't receive any input from the user. The content, now, it can be changed. And you're going, but you just said. So we can get input from the user and then reset that label with new input. That's important, okay? But the label itself, when it's displayed, can't be edited. Now we have 6 possible constructors that we can use, okay? And once we created it, what we can do is we can add it to a JFrame. So here's some JLabel code that is a real simple demonstration of using the JLabel. The JLabel, a component that displays information to the user that actually they can't edit it. Let's have a look here. So we've got 3 things. We've got our frame, we've got our label, and we've got our color that we need. And another complicated name, demo JLabel. And now I'm creating the frame that I need. And I'm saying set default close operation, familiar with that. We've got our frame size. And now I'm saying create a JLabel, and we've called it label. Now we're setting the text within that label to be the legend Virgil van Dijk. And you see here what we do is we're going to the frame add label, and then we set it to be visible. So let's take a look. We're going to compile and then run this. Demo JLabel. It's compiled beautifully. And now I'm going to run it. And there it is. Programming design implementation, the legend Virgil van Dijk. This code is similar to the JLabel, but now in this implementation, we've taken the JLabel and we're now going to add an icon with it. So what are some of the other options? When it comes to positioning text, very important. And we have an option to do this. Set horizontal text position JLabel center. Cool. Horizontal text positions, I think you would probably have guessed them. We have center, left, and right. And we have set the vertical text position top. I wonder where that might be. Okay, center, top, and bottom. Pretty straightforward, I would think. And we have font color and style. We can modify those as well. So your turn here is to check the Java docs and see how to go about making all of these modifications. Flow layout. Now this becomes really important when we have two or more components that we need to start adding into things. So we're going to work with a second label first. And in this case, we're going to need to manage the layout. All right. And when it comes to managing the layout, flow layout is what is used to manage the layout or the flow of the layout that we're creating. Components are added into a row, and once that row is full, we have a new row. All right. Flow layout, flow is assigned new flow layout. Straightforward code. But we've got a nicer way, and we can go here, frame, so the frame that we've created, dot set layout. So we call the method set layout from the frame, and into that, as the parameter, we pass the call to the constructor of flow layout. Then what we can do is we can start to add multiple components to our frame. As we show here, label 1, label 2, label 3, we can then be adding lots and lots of different things to our frame. Some sample code for you to play with, to look at and see how do we go about using this flow layout. Let's have a look now at the JLabel, the JFrame, along with flow layout. This time what we've done is we've imported all of Swing and all of AWT to make it, in one sense, a little bit easier, but in doing this you have to think we import everything. Public class demo to JLabel, I've got my main, and now I've got my JFrame. We're setting its default close operation. We're setting the frame size as we've done in the past. And now I'm creating two labels, and I've called them label and label 2. When you're doing this in your code, you probably want to make those labels a little bit more descriptive. Okay, now we're setting the text, the legend, Virgil van Dijk, and setting text in the second label, Adrian is keeping. And now we go frame.setLayout, new flow layout. And we add things to our JFrame. Frame.addLabel and frame.addLabel2, keeping in mind that we have now created our flow layout in our frame. And then we set the frame to be visible. Let's head over to here and compile it. Javac demo to JLabel Java, and it worked. And there we have it, the legend Virgil van Dijk, our first label, and Adrian is keeping is our second label, and it's been nicely added within the flow layouted frame.